Hey guys, I would like to go through some simple problems in percentage to give you a better understanding of the concepts, the basic concepts in percentage. The first question, the salary of A is 10% less than that of B and the salary of C is 20% more than that of B. By what percentage is C's salary more than that of A? See, in this question, you can do only a comparison between C's salary and A's salary because we can't find out correctly their salaries as we don't have enough data in the problem. What I meant is you don't know what their salaries were initially. The question says A is just 10% less than that of B. What does that mean? See, both C and A related to the salary of A in the data. So B we don't know. In such problems, we start off with the B salary as a convenient number. The convenient number is generally 100 or 1. Why do we choose 100 or 1? Just for ease of calculation. In fact, you can write any number here and for that matter, even a variable. But the solution gets unnecessarily complicated. To avoid that, we use 100 in most cases. Okay. Then on the basis of B being 100, what would be the salary of A? Given to be 10% less. That means A's salary will be 90 if B's salary is 100. And what about C? Given to be 20% more than B. Obviously that will be 120. Look at this. On the basis of this assumption, we are able to calculate the other two salaries faster. That's the only reason we choose B as 100. Now the comparison is to be made between C and A. That's the question. C's salary is what percentage more than that of A? That means C is 120, A is 90. So basically this is 120 is what percentage more than 90. How do you find out that? Take the absolute difference between these two and this is what percentage of A's salary, because A is the original quantity or rather the quantity to which comparison is made. So that goes in the denominator. And this works out to 33 and 1 by 3%. If there is any point you find a bit confusing here in the solution, hopefully that will get cleared if you go back to 2 previous videos of mine giving the basic concepts of percentage. The video link is given in the description below. The second problem is this. A certain number of books were distributed among the students of a class. If the strength of the class is increased by 20% and the number of books by 50%, then how much is the change in the number of books received by each student, percentage wise? Yeah, they can ask the question only in percentage wise because we don't have enough data to find out the actual increase in the number of books received by each student, because we don't know originally how many books were distributed among how many students. So what do you do in such problems? To begin with, you choose these two unknowns, number of books and a number of students, as 100. Yeah, these are the two variables in the problem, number of books and number of students, both chosen to be the same number, 100. There's nothing wrong in choosing the same number for both the variables. If you want, you can choose different numbers or you can have different variables, but it will only complicate the solution, and this is the best, rather the shortest and easiest way to approach this problem. So I'm choosing it like that. Now, what does the data say? Strength of the class is increased by 20%, which means this becomes 120. And this has gone up by 50%. So this will be 150. Now after these two changes, we are asked to find out the change in the number of received by each student. So let's find out the number of books received by each student initially. So in the first case, it will be 100 by 100 equal to 1. So as per the original assumption, each student receives one book. Now after these changes, how do you find out the same number, same quantity? Number of books. In this case, 150 divide that by the number of students. So rather 1.25 is the number of books received by each student. As you know, the number should be a positive integer, but this turns out to be a decimal only because of the initial assumption we have made. See, we don't know whether the number of books and number of students are really 100. So based on that assumption, you're getting a decimal, but it doesn't matter. You're not looking at the correct increase, rather you're looking at the percentage-wise increase. So initially it was 1, and after the changes, it's gone up to 1.25. What does that indicate? The change is precisely an increase, and 1 becoming 1.25, easily you can say 25% as the increase in the number of books received by each student. Rather, this is the final answer to the question. Let's take up one more problem, slightly more complicated than this, so that you will have a very good understanding of the concepts. See, these problems I'm doing mainly to help you get a better insight into the concept which I've already gone through in other videos. The next problem is the total manufacturing cost of a product is given by C equal to F plus X plus Y plus Z, where F is the fixed cost, X is the cost of raw materials, Y the establishment expenses, and Z the interest payment last year. If F is doubled, X increased by 33 and 1 by 3%, Y decreased to 66 and 2 by 3%, and Z raised by 300% this year, then what would be the percentage change in C? Let me write the equation given here. This is total manufacturing cost that depends on 4 variables. In fact, F is the fixed cost, but that's also kept varying here from year to year. Now, each one of these quantities on the right side are changed by a certain percentage for the next year, as you can see in the problem. And finally, when you change any of them or all of them, automatically C will also change, and you are looking at the change that's taken place in C, which is the total manufacturing cost of the product. Now, we don't know what these quantities were initially. So in such problems, you begin with some convenient numbers for whatever is not given in the problem. Okay. Let me choose F as 1, X1, Y1, Z1. You can choose whatever you want. If you want to really complicate the problem, you can go in for, keep the variables as it is and also work out the solution, but it'll be longer and complicated. So let's look at the best possible way to approach this problem. So I'm choosing 1, 1, 1. Even hundreds are good, but unnecessarily you're writing zeros in choosing 100. So this, as I get to finish the problem, you will get to see why I chose 1, 1, 1 as the initial values. Now, let's sum it up. You get 4. So based on these choices, total manufacturing cost turns out to be 4. Now look at the changes they're making. F is doubled. What does that mean? 1 becomes 2. X increased by 33 and 1 by 3%. What does that mean? Something increased by a certain percentage mean you take the value of whatever it was before the change, then increase it by 33 and 1 by 3%. And as I've shown in my previous videos, 33 and 1 by 3% is nothing but 1/3. You put 100 here, simplify, you will get to 1 by 3. So in dealing with the fractional percentages of this kind, it's better to convert that as a ratio like this first and then handle it. So what is 1/3 of 1? Obviously 1 by 3. That's the beauty of converting fractional percentage into a ratio. Now look at the next one, Y. What is the change? Reduced to 66 and 2 by 3%. Reduced to 66 and 2. By the way, what is the 66 and 2 by 3%? That's nothing but 2/3. And 1 reduced to 2 by 3. There's a meaning of something being reduced to a certain percentage. Now, there's a difference between something increased by and reduced to. Reduced by means you write whatever value that variable had initially, then increase it by so much percentage. Whereas in this case, why just reduce to something means you write 1 to the reduced value. All these minute points I have already discussed in my previous videos. I would encourage you to go through that. In case you have any confusion, to clear off that confusion, it will be helpful. Now, look at the last one. Again, it increased by 300%. So what do? You write whatever quantity that variable had before the change, then 300% of what itself as a meaning of, okay. Now, yeah, let me write that again. So these are the numbers you got. This on simplification 4 by 3. This is 2 by 3, and this will be 1 plus 3, which is 4. Okay. Now, these are the new values of the variables. Let's sum it up. Simplify yourself. You will get it as 8. Now, what do you see? The total manufacturing cost of C was 4 when? Last year. And because of these changes, this year, it's gone up to 8. And you are looking at the change. So, 4 is getting increased to 8. Rather, 4 is getting doubled. When a quantity is doubled, the percentage change, as I've shown to you, is 100%. So, what is the final observation? The cost of manufacturing has gone up by 100%, which is what they want us to answer in the question. Hope you have understood every step I have gone through in the 3 problems we have discussed in today's session. If there is any point you are still unable to follow, raise it in your comment section. I will address it there. See you guys in my next video, where I will help you with smart solution to some more tricky problems. Bye for now.